All right, so today we're going to be graphing square root and cube root functions. So just a reminder of, remember h moves our function left and right. The opposite of what we see, k always goes up and down. So h is left and right, opposite of what we see. K moves our function up and down. Remember, a is like how wide something is going to be. And if a is positive, then it opens up. And if well, up for this is like this. And if a is negative, it's going to open down, which is going like that. So all you really need on these two things is what the two functions look like, and then we're going to be moving them left and right. So a square root function looks like this. I just did square root of whole number. Square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 4 was 2. So I use that. So this is your square root of x. And then your cube root of x looks like this. So this is cube root of x. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to state the movement for all of them, and then we'll graph them afterwards. So the 2 on the outside, will just make it be a wider. This 4, we're going to go left 4 and then down 1. And the 2 is a little bit wider. So you try to do 2 and then come unpause it and see if you're right. So you should say right 1, up 3. So this one right here, you have to take care of a negative out in front first. So you first are going to reflect this over the x-axis. So it's a reflection of your x-axis. And then we're going to go left 1. And it's a little bit wider. I guess I should write that. This is wider, wider. All right, down here. If you haven't stopped yet, you should stop the videos and try to do the next 3 on your own, and then come back and see if you're getting these right. So hopefully you stopped it. Now you can know this is left 5, up 1. This 1/2 power, remember, is the same thing as just putting a square root right there. Those mean the same thing. And this one's going to be a little bit wider. Reflection first. So I'm going to say it reflects over the x-axis. It's going to be a little bit skinnier because it's the 2/3. Right 3, down 2. 6 is tricky, tricky, tricky. We haven't had any with this yet, so that's why we haven't talked about it. A negative on the inside reflects it over the y-axis. This was a reflection over your y-axis. So I'm going to take my pictures up here and I'd flip them this way. So cube root right here is right 2, up 1. This is a reflect over the x-axis. So negative on the outside reflects the x-axis. A negative on the inside reflects the y-axis. Okay. So now I'm going to go back and I'm just going to graph these movements. So I need to move my dot. Left 4, down 1. And then technically when I plug in -3 into this, I'm going to go up 2 instead of just going up 1. Because normally like I want 1 right here, but I'm multiplying that 1 by a 2 on the outside. That's why it's going to get a little bit higher. So it's going to look like this. So right 1, up 3. This is a normal 1, over 1, up 1. So my reflection means that it's this shape first. Okay, so I'm going to go left 1 to reflection, and then it goes 2 to get to the next point. So number 4, I'm going to go left 5, up 1. So 2 on the outside, so I'm going to multiply my answer by 2 for the next one. So let's see, if I was supposed to go up 1 over, I should go up 2 right there. The 2/3 is going to make it a lot smaller. So instead of going 1, 1, it goes like 1, 2/3. Like that. The reflection of the x-axis looks like this. These down here are all cube roots. They're all going to be the S shaped from above. So I'm going to go right 2, up 1. And it just goes 1 in each direction to make the S shaped. So I'm going to go 2 and 1 in the opposite directions to make my S this time, because the negative reflected it over the x-axis. So now what was up goes down and down goes up. And a reflection of the x and y actually are the same for cube roots. Up 2. I'm going to go 3 over 1, 3 over 1. All right, so now domain and range. You can cube root any number you ever want. So that's why the cube root is a domain and range of negative infinity to infinity. So we can write that on all three of these right here. The domain and range, negative infinity to infinity. And that's true for all of them. I'm lazy. Square root is where it's different. So square root, you can't square root negative numbers. So the domain has to do with the number to infinity. The only time it changes is like on number 6. See how it flipped of the axis? So we really need to say negative infinity to that starting point. Your range is always your k to infinity, unless it's upside down, like number 5 right here is. And then it's going to be negative infinity up to that k value. And why did I put h here? It's a k. Sorry, change that to a k on your notes. So using the rule here, I went -4. So I'm going to say my domain is -4 to infinity. The range starts at -1. So it's -1 to infinity. So domain 1 to infinity. Range, we went up to 3. 3 to infinity. This one now, the domain is still your -1 to infinity. It's my range that changes. It's underneath, so it's negative infinity all the way up to 0. Because there's no k, that's why k is 0. So you try some and then unpause and see if you get them correctly. All right, so hopefully you paused it and now you're just checking. It's -5 to infinity and 1 to infinity. This domain is 3 to infinity, negative infinity to -2 because it's flipped. And this domain would be negative infinity to 0. My range is still 0 up.